I am so disturbed and disgusted by the number not only of fake videos that have been put out and spread around to manufacture consent for this kidnapping and attack on Venezuela. But even after people get called out, there's no shame anymore. They don't take them down. They just leave them up. And then added to that mix, so when we first started covering the Ukraine war, we had to contend with a lot of fake videos. Gaza, we had to contend with a lot of fake videos. We tried to be really careful, and I don't think we've had any significant failure on our part of putting something up that turned out to be fake or misrepresented. So now, though, you have to add into it AI. And AI being good enough now that apparently people, especially people who want to fall for it, will just completely fall for this bullshit and share it widely. So the specific flavor of video that was being shared everywhere were these like, oh my God, the Venezuelans in Venezuela are so happy that Trump came in and kidnapped the leader of their country. And one of them that was shared the most widely is just, it's AI. It's all invented. And if you have at all a discerning eye, you can see that this is fake. Like if you look at this carefully, you can tell that it's fake. Let's put this up on the screen and you guys can see for yourself. So it's supposedly all these Venezuelans take to the streets to celebrate Maduro's downfall, and you have this old lady in the front who's crying with joy. Okay, this freaking AI post, which is still up even with the community note in here that says it's AI generated, this has 39,000 retweets. It has over 5 million views. It has 118,000 likes, and it was shared by none other than the richest man on the planet, Elon Musk. So now we have to add to just the, general propaganda, the fact that people can put out completely fabricated videos and pass them off as if they are reality to create a portrait that Venezuelans across the board inside of Venezuela are celebrating these actions. Let's go ahead and put the next one up on the screen. We can go through some of these. So Glenn was really doing the Lord's work here, going through and flagging a bunch of these fake or misrepresented videos. So this one is from Alex Jones. He posts this video and he says, millions of Venezuelans flooded the streets of Caracas and other major cities in celebration of the ouster of communist dictator Nicolas Maduro. In reality, the video shows anti-Maduro protests from last year following the disputed presidential election, or I guess now 2 years ago, now that we're in 2026, not celebrations of his recent capture by U.S. forces. And Glenn says, yet another mega viral video from Trump supporters that is falsely described. This is not a video from today. It's an old video. Long before that, there also aren't close to millions here. But again, who cares? These claims make people feel good. That's what counts. Let's go ahead and put the next one up on the screen. We've got here, Nick Shirley of the vaunted Minnesota fraud video that has now been used by the Trump administration to shut down daycare payments for all states in the entire country. He's got a fake video here. The video actually depicts Venezuelan exiles in Miami, not inside of Venezuela, celebrating. Nick Shirley tweeted, wait a minute, the MSM media lied to us again. The people of Venezuela actually didn't like being ruled by a narco-terrorist. World Cup-style celebrations are erupting all across Venezuela at the moment. And Glenn says, this is Miami, not Venezuela, but who cares? Just keep retweeting it. It feels good, and that matters most. And again, last I checked, had not taken this down, even though it is not true the way he's representing it. Let's go ahead and put the next one up on the screen. We've got, I'm not familiar with this guy, Jorge Macri. He says the city of Buenos Aires has always been, is, and will always be on the side of freedom. Marks a historic day. Margaret Kimberly says this video is from Buenos Aires. I guess he changed it, but it's a 2021 celebration of their, I think of like a World Cup win or something. So yeah, has nothing to do with Maduro. It's an old video from 2021 celebrating a soccer victory. There you go. And yeah, I mean, these people are dishonest. Like, they know that what they posted is wrong. They may have known it when they posted it and intentionally posted just flagrant lies to back up the Trump administration and to push a narrative about what is actually happening here. And even after they get called out, they just leave it up. So to me, it's very dystopian, the invention of reality to match the narrative that they want to push.
I've never been more disturbed because, and you know what the reason why? It's not just that we care about accuracy. I always operated on a theory. if you get stuff factually incorrect and don't, apologize for it, then people will leave you. I don't think it's true anymore.
Some people apparently want to be lied to.
I don't know if that's necessarily it. I think they just don't care. I don't think they want to be lied to per se. Maybe like structurally, yes, but as long as it goes along with the narrative, like they'll just continue to say, "Oh well, they meant well" or something like that. And I'm like, it really makes me question, my entire career and just every single time, even on Venezuela, how hours on the phone, talking to people, verifying details, making sure that everything I say is generally backed up by like what I know, what I confirm. I have a roster of things that I've been told but can't confirm, so I don't say them on the air.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point? I'm being serious. What is the point of not just being like, oh, here's what I heard from so-and-so. Who cares about looking like an idiot? These guys are, look at their views, their retweets, all of this. Not even, that's just business. But generally, like, look at they pay no price.
They seem to sleep well at night. I don't know. That's the thing. I was talking to Kyle about this. He made one statement on his show when it was slightly misrepresenting something, and he realized it after the fact. He was like, I could not sleep at night because I was thinking about it. Like, I was so bothered by the fact that I stated this thing incorrectly. And I relate to that. Like, I cannot imagine just putting out something that is blatantly false, getting called on it by like literally thousands of people and just leaving it up there. And like, I don't care.
If I found out that I said something 100, I'm not talking about an opinion, okay, like a bad opinion. Even that I may feel bad about, but it's like one of those where if you say something wrong, like actually 100% wrong, and especially if it was really important to the point that you were trying to make.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think the limited times that has happened, I've gone in and done comments on our own videos, just be like, hey, this is me. I got it wrong, or I'll say it here, here on the show. I don't know. I guess other people don't care. Apparently the audience doesn't care, These guys are doing great, so that's the world we live in.
It's wild. And look, I don't purport to like represent or know the ins and outs of how every Venezuelan in Venezuela is thinking.
Nor would I ever. Right, who has the audacity to say that? Yeah.
But I will say, I genuinely went out and looked for any of the inside of Venezuela celebration videos to be accurate. None of them. I have not found. You guys can. Genuinely, if you have seen some that you think are accurate, please send it because I have not seen one. And you know what? It works. The tactic works because if your feed is flooded with these things and you don't bother to go in and check it, you just assume like, oh, some of them must be real. Like there must be some of that going on. And we also have to remember like this is a repressive regime. I'm sure the opposition is very afraid right now of what consequences could come to them or potential collaborators or whatever. So it wouldn't be a surprise if there were no celebrations, even as you do have plenty of people in Venezuela who are not happy living under Maduro and whatever. So what we do have, the legitimate videos I have seen are people who are upset about the leader of their country being kidnapped. I don't think anyone should be surprised that that is a significant sentiment within Venezuela. You can imagine if this was done to us, how people would react here, including some people who were not big fans of Donald Trump. So you can put F3 up on the screen. You had a number of news organizations who were there on the ground. These are some of the pro-Maduro, don't kidnap our leader protests that were ongoing. Sky News was there on the ground talking to people. You had, I think this is Middle East Eye was on the ground. This is a major march in Caracas. And I thought this one was really significant. He says, how do I feel? I feel scared. And that was some of the coverage I saw on the ground too, is people are just like, what the hell does this mean?
Right.
Like there were huge lines at pharmacies and at grocery stores, people like stockpiling the way that they do before a natural disaster because their country continues to be threatened by our maniac president who says, hey, I'll go in even harder, says that we may put boots on the ground, say this may last for years, and says we run their country. So I think a lot of the, from what I can tell from the news reporting, a lot of the sentiment is just fear about what is going to happen going forward.
It would make sense that there's no celebration because the current regime is still in power. They will kill you, maybe, if you go out and you celebrate like openly an operation inside your country. Also, I know it's very reductive, but as many people have pointed out, if a foreign country came in and deposed a political leader like Trump, then there would be millions of Democrats, perhaps here or around the world, who would celebrate. And by the way, vice versa. If it were a Republican, if it were a Democrat and there were Republicans who might celebrate, that is not proof positive that it is necessarily like the entire nation. Let's think about this. How many Americans live in the UK? I'm going to guess hundreds of thousands. I don't know the exact number. Are they representative of all of us?
Right.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
What is the country with the most amount of Americans? Biggest expat? Probably Israel. All right. Okay. Let's guess. Does the vision of all, or the view of all Americans who reside in Israel, are they totally representative of all of us? I've been all over the world. In my experience, the Americans living abroad and often are the least representative of the average Joe in the U.S.
So the number one American expat community is Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
Followed by Canada.
Of course, I apologize.
Yeah. So in any case, and then the UK, Germany, Puerto Rico, but that's part.
Okay, but even Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, if you live in Mexico, like, what do you really know? Much about us? Like this, I can say this too. My parents are Indian. My parents' views on India are like miles apart from the people who actually live in India.
Well,
that's the funniest part. Like, we don't, just because you were from there doesn't mean you know anything. Also, if you hated Maduro, you probably left.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's an ideological, distinction between people who are still in Venezuela and people who left or, fled fearing political persecution or fearing that their capital was going to be taken by the revolutionary government or whatever. Like, I mean, there's very clear ideological divide, just like with the Cuban community. Let's put F4 up on the screen just to try to attach some data to this. Dropsite shared this polling, trying to get a hold. This was before the kidnapping of Maduro. But as would be predicted, there's a huge divide between Venezuelans in Venezuela, of whom a majority, 55%, were opposed, 23% supported some sort of foreign military intervention, and 22% unsure, and people, the Venezuelan expat community. So in this other poll, we don't have the screen for it, but an Atlas Intel poll from October that was published by Bloomberg, and it's a Brazil-based polling firm. So 64% support for U.S. military intervention among Venezuelans abroad, so like the Venezuelans in Miami who were celebrating, whereas only 34% among Venezuelans living in the country. So significant political divide between, the people who are there in the country and the people who have left for any number of reasons. And it's also just worth remembering, look, when we had our mission accomplished moment in Iraq, there were people who were genuinely celebrating. I mean,
not just people, thousands of millions of Iraqis were like, wow, this is great. They even were, I forget the exact phrase in Arabic, that people chanted in the streets of Baghdad. And then what happened? I mean, even in Afghanistan, there are a lot of people who didn't want to be ruled by the Taliban. They also had their own problems. That's the reductive nature which we talk about this. It is amazing to me. And that is why we were talking about the journalism thing. It's the same on foreign policy. I mean, I truly realized this under Afghanistan when all of MAGA was like, oh, we should have stayed I was like, oh my God. I mean, it's all bullshit. It's just fake in terms of like a lot of the ways that people will approach their overall commentary.
Yeah.
But I see it here now too.
Oh yeah.
I'm like the triumphalism. I mean, nothing has changed. And what's even crazier to someone like me is to roll the clock to read the quotes at the time of the Spanish-American War, of the Philippines, and like the, rah-rah nature that went, and then those were disasters for America. Dan Carlin, if you probably have to pay for it at this point, he has an amazing 4-hour episode on just like the history of the U.S. imperial kind of project back at that time. Go listen to it. Seriously. I mean, nothing has changed. It's amazing. And I guess we're just doomed to repeat our mistakes over and over and over again. So.
But yeah, some of these people have no principles. They believe in nothing. They will flip their positions on a dime and have absolutely no shame about it. 5 seconds ago, we're like, no, I mean, Tulsi Gabbard, right? I mean, I know she's in the administration, but she was explicitly against regime change in Venezuela. And now Nothing. And so many of these right-wing influencers were no more forever wars, no more regime change wars, no foreign interventions, put America first. And then the minute this happens, they flip on a dime and it's like, let's go, we love this is great, this is based, etc. Just zero principles.
Yeah, I think it's bad. I mean, I'm not so sure, if the other side were in power that things would be all that different, but I think that's part of the issue, right? I don't know. All right, whatever.
Biden didn't kidnap Maduro. Biden actually tried to do some deals with him, in fairness.
Yeah, but he kept the $25 million bounty, never, kept the indictment.
Yeah, there was not a full rollback of the sanctions. But we also didn't have,
poured USAID dollars.
Did not have a kidnapping.
Yeah.
And direct attacks on the country.
Poured USAID dollars, encouraged millions of Venezuelans to come here, caused a massive migration crisis, probably most responsible for Trump's victory. Like, it's not, his hands are not clean. Sure, it didn't kidnap him.
Okay, you can't,
great.
But Sagar, at this
I'm
point—
not saying they're the same.
Okay, but you kind
to
of
say
are.
Blameless is ridiculous.
I'm not saying they're blameless, but let's be real, this is of a different nature. Like brazenly being like, we're taking the oil, we're kidnapping their leader, we're coming for Cuba, we're coming for Colombia, we're coming for Greenland, we're coming for Mexico. That is different.
Oh, I didn't say that at all. I was more talking about like left-wing Democratic Party influencers, like whenever a Democrat is in power. I don't think they're necessarily like so principled.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we agree. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Harry Sisson will be backing whatever Democrats do.
That's what I mean.
No matter what.
I may not be on the show tomorrow. My kid got very sick, so we might have to do a follow-up with the doctor. Emily may be in place for me, but if she is, then I'll swap with her on Wednesday. So regardless, someone will see you tomorrow, and they'll see you then. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.